This is First and 15th. We talk about inspiration, motivation, life-changing moments, and conquering fears. Twice a month, we have amazing guests popping through. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to First and 15th. I'm your host, Karal Bush, and we are joined today by someone who I think is a legend in the DC area. We are joined by James Butch Goodwin of Goombay Adventurers. And so I'm going to have you tell us about who you are and what you do, and then we'll jump right into the questions.
Okay, so my name is James Butch Goodwin, like she said. I'm originally from Washington, D.C., grew up in Southeast Washington. And I went to University of Pittsburgh. I was wearing the hats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I see Pitt. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Growing up in D.C. was a very interesting time back in the 70s because there was a lot going on, and the biggest thing was growing up in Southeast was a lot of crime, a lot of stuff. I always wanted to get away from that stuff.
Okay.
So that kind of spearheaded me into going to summer camps and being outside and being a Boy Scout, which kind of flowed into what I do now with Goombay.
So with you being a Boy Scout, that to me makes perfect sense. And I'm like, oh, the connection between outdoorsy things and being active. So you are a busy man. So I'm really happy that we finally got this on the books because we've been trying for a while. So we finally got it together with the scheduling. How did Goombay Adventurers get started? So you gave us the background of you being a Boy Scout and not wanting to just be in DC, but what gave you the idea of let me start this social club opposed to just let me just do it like with some friends alone?
So what happened was I got back from college in '88 and I wanted to go whitewater rafting.
Okay.
But I wanted to go with people of color. I figured, hey, you know what? All these folks that I know, let's go whitewater rafting. So I got a trip together, and somehow I got 30 black people to go rafting.
Amazing to go in the water,
especially in 1990 or 91, whichever the same year.
All of us together,
and it worked out. Everybody had a good time. They enjoyed themselves. We did experience a little bit of racism on the water from the locals, but we had enough good time that we just kind of ignored that stuff, And I said to myself, hey, this would be really good if I can do this on a regular basis, and I think our folks needed it.
Definitely. Some background on me. I actually have gone whitewater rafting one time many years ago. I think I was 9 with a summer camp in DC. I will not name the camp because hopefully they are now defunct.
I'm curious to know what camp they were.
I will tell you after we're done. But it was with part of DC Parks and Recreation. Yeah. So the actual camp hopefully is not around anymore. But a friend of mine and I almost died. Oh, really? So I am still traumatized from age 9. So even though it sounds fun and interesting, the photos that I see online from y'all in movies, it looks so fun, but I am so terrified from being basically left out alone, like 2 fourth graders just to go by ourselves. So maybe one day I will join for whitewater rafting, but until then, I hope to just live through y'all.
Okay, sounds good. I'm sorry you had that experience.
DC Parks and Recreation.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
The very first thing that y'all did was the whole whitewater rafting. So then why did you choose that opposed to maybe hiking or camping?
Well, because I've never been whitewater rafting before. I've done hiking, backpacking. So I thought that was a good event to start off with. And I just something I wanted to do, but I didn't want to do it by myself.
It's not.
I want one of my brothers and sisters to go with me. So, so I did that close. Yeah.
To be in the raft to learn in case you get stuck and stranded, i.e. me, stuck and stranded.
Want to be with people that look like me. So they won't strand it. So yeah.
I'm going to say that most people know of Goombay from the sports, so kickball. And so you have several shirts on your wall that y'all can't see, but he is a kickball founder legend. So then when did you, start to actually add sports opposed to like nature things?
So I would say probably 91, 92. There was a big volleyball tournament in Baltimore.
Okay.
I wanted, hey, we're gonna go down here and, play some volleyball. When we got there must have been 300 people, 300 white people.
That wanted to actually play, or they were just like, they were a mix of like all the
teams.
Okay.
So I got 3 teams of all Black people.
And you have all the other people who clearly are not gonna be supporting.
Exactly. So we got out there, we lost every game. We must have played about 30 games that day. Lost every game, primarily because we didn't know how to play volleyball. We played, and growing up in school, we played what we call picnic ball.
Okay.
We just hit it back over. And they played real volleyball.
Yeah.
So at that point, after losing and seeing and watching them laugh at us, I said, you know what? We're going to learn how to play volleyball. We're going to do volleyball leagues. We're going to do volleyball training. And that was our first sport, volleyball. Yep, our first shirt is sitting right there. That's our first.
I will definitely put a picture of that.
So we did volleyball, and then we did flag football. We had a big flag football league called Fab Sports. It ran for years. And then during the time when flag football was big, I got into kickball.
Okay.
I saw a team on the Monument grounds playing, and I was like, of course, I didn't see any of us playing.
Right.
And I said, we could do this, Yeah.
So then was that maybe in the mid-90s with kickball at least?
No, that was 2003.
Okay.
So mid-90s was flag football.
Okay.
And volleyball.
The fast forward to 03, because y'all, it is 2023. So they are celebrating 20 years of kickball in the DC area. Plus y'all have also expanded to North Carolina and elsewhere as well. Yeah, so we'll cover that a little bit later.
Okay.
Got my hand in any questions up here. I love sports. I am very active, whether it's playing, I watch basketball. I'm a huge basketball fan, but in terms of like me actually doing sports, I ran track since I was like 5 and still run. That's some of my age range.
Okay.
That has been such a DC area phenomenon. So y'all been doing it for 20 years and you all have people of various ages. You have young adults in their 20s, 30s, even 40s, 50s, and maybe even older than that, plus a whole league for teens.
Yes.
So what do you think it is about kickball that is just so fascinating? Because that's 20 years of legacy right there.
So the biggest thing I realized with kickball is that anybody can play, from.
Y'all heard that?
From
Anybody can play. Now play Wells differently.
So from my youngest son to my oldest aunt, who's 50, 60, we all can play. We all may not be as fast as the other person, but it's a sport that everybody can gravitate toward. You don't have to go to the batting cage like softball. You don't have to know routes like in flag football. It's just something that everyone can play. And the biggest thing is that it's something we used to play back in the day.
Yes, I remember playing that in gym. I was just like, yes, it's kickball. It's outside time. I love it.
Right. Yeah. So that's what the big draw was. And it just grew. I would say 2008 to 2015, I call that the renaissance of Black kickball. Okay. Because there were kickball leagues in every major city playing on Sundays. So if you say kickball Sunday in St. Louis, it looked the same as it did in Atlanta and Charlotte and Raleigh, because everyone came out, they bought their tents, they're cooking out, they got the music or the DJ, and it's an all-day process. So kickball Sunday is a big thing across the country, especially in the Black community. Yeah. And that, so I am from a DMV, and I probably will never leave as far as moving away, but I am just fascinated by how much people are just really into it. And again, it doesn't matter what your skill level is. I mean, you can be 20s, 30s, 50s, 60s, or even a kid. And so I got the courage, I'll say, to branch out to the whole Goombay kickball. So I gave it a try with one practice with my oldest daughter's soccer football club. This was many, many years ago. She was maybe like 3 or 4 back then. So I said, okay, it's kickball, and I live right near the park. Let me just drive across the street, really, and just see what they're doing. After this practice, that joint was so fast. And
Oh, it was. So I didn't leave. I mean, I this, but I was like, for me, and so that had to be maybe 2015 or 2014.
So you were in the height of teams trying to be good and be the best, because the competition in 2015 was here. You know, since that time, a lot of teams have realized that, hey, you know what, we just want to come out, just play, relax, enjoy. We don't want to do 2 and 3 day a week practices. We don't want to do
competitive.
Oh, yes, so competitive.
I was definitely intimidated because, again, I'm sporty, I'm athletic, but when I was convinced by these soccer and sports dads, oh, we're doing a team with the club, I'm like, sure, I'll do it because I like sports. I don't know anything you, but you know, I am playing now. Years later. So let me ask you, do you play on kickball?
Yes.
Okay.
Do play.
Okay, now you coach, I know.
I do coach, but I don't play as
play.
much because now it's like, okay, I've been doing this for 20 years. I try to let everybody else get their time, you know, and I'm getting older, so, you know, but I do play, I do play, and I like to play on more teams. My job is to make sure that new players have a good time.
Yeah.
And so they'll come back.
Okay.
So that's my focus.
Yeah.
You know, so
now I can vouch because when I was a new player, you know, to this league, so I didn't even know that it was on turf because on Sundays it's on dirt. And so I just thought, okay, it's gonna be on dirt. I went to open practice last year. I mean, it was very welcoming, it was friendly and all that. But number one, we're on turf. Nobody told me that because I'd have been like, no. And number two, you got teams playing, you know, in this corner, this corner, this corner, and maybe like over here a little bit on a football field. Yeah. So I definitely was not informed by my other teammate about what to expect. So then when I got that, I was like, okay, it's different. It's not what I had in mind, but I really, really enjoyed it. And so I'm sure that there are plenty of moms and dads out there who were like me, who may not have really known what you expect, but then once they have started, they're like, this is so much fun.
Yep, it is. Yep, you have a good time.
We've talked about kickball, which I think is amazing, and hopefully I'll be playing for another 15, maybe another 10 years. I got hurt actually during a scrimmage with 2 different teams. I was fine that day, and I was turning. Well, there was a certain one of your old friends yelling, take 2, and I was already slowing down, going to 1 because I was like, okay, good, I'm here, I'm fine, and so I'm really competitive as well. So I turned my little body so fast, and the next morning I could not walk. So my little hip tendon.
Oh, really?
Exactly. My hip tendon had torn apart. So it wasn't like apart all the way, but it was not secure.
Yeah, just enough to keep you sidelined.
Yes, I could not walk and I could not do anything that next day and for many, many weeks. So I just had to live through people who were playing. I'm like, oh, I can't play. And I'm sorry, that was this year. I'm saying I can't play, I live through y'all, but it's summer league right now. And so I'm back.
Well, you know, the funny thing about injuries is that I always tell people that, you know, people say, oh, you get injured in kickball. Yeah, you do, because you're using muscles that you don't use on a regular basis, especially that run from home to first. That's a sprint. Then they tell you to keep going. Now you got to turn this sprint. You know.
He's yelling, take 2. So I'm like, okay. And I made it. I was fine. And I made it home as well. No, well, I'm home as in like home base, not home as in my house. But I made it around eventually. And I was fine. But the next morning at my actual home, I could not get out of bed. I could not walk.
Sure, yeah.
It's like, oh, what happened to me? But anyhow, so barring an injury, hopefully I'll be playing for another 8, 9, 10 years or so.
Yeah.
So we cover kickball and whatever sports do y'all have?
So we have dodgeball. We've been doing that since 2012. So dodgeball, volleyball. We started pickleball this year. Okay. That's supposed to be the big
sport. It's a big craze right now around the world.
Trying to get out there and
do
that.
You can play with Goombay.
Yeah. We've done basketball, co-ed and men. And see, what else have we done? Those are about it. Flag football and kickball. Those are the big sports. Okay. And well, we used to do softball too. Okay. So we've ran the gamut.
Okay. So then, since you have some sports that are still going strong, like dodgeball, volleyball, and of course kickball, what has been some of the reasons why maybe some of the sports like softball are not really around anymore for your club at least?
Well, softball dwindled down in just in the DC area, period. And I think because kickball took over.
Okay.
Kickball just not with our community. So DC is known for being the kickball capital because they were at one point there was probably 15 leagues in DC. Everyone was doing it. So softball just kind of slowed down. So you don't see softball as much as you used to, so that's why, Now
dodgeball, my teammates warned me, oh, you don't want to do dodgeball. I was like, I'm competitive, I'm sporty, I'm going out there. Oh my Lord.
You did it with us?
I did one open practice.
Okay.
And I'm not a quitter, so I stayed. There was one young lady who saw me out there trying in the newbie. That's good. Newbie. That's not it was like advanced. She asked me, I'm like, why I'm not like playing out there anymore. I said, I'm not going to leave. I mean, I'll stay, but I already got hit in the face by some young kid. I could be his mom. And I'm like, if you're aiming for my leg, how's leg equal face? I mean, what?
It happens all the time, though. It happens to me all the time.
Sure, but
I'm tall, so I can aim down, and it may have a funky release, and it'll go straight up to the top. So it's not on purpose.
That thing, but sign up for this for newbie. Let me go sit my black ass down and just watch and support my other people who I know. I'm like, yeah, y'all got it. And I just like seeing how much fun people have at your various sports. Like you have a whole movement going on. So then, since there are various ways of staying active, what makes Goombay stand out opposed to other clubs in the area?
Well, so as far as the sports, people will always say that Goombay feels more like a family. The staff were very inclusive. We try to help folks out.
Right.
I mean, we just want to make sure that you all have a great experience. I mean, we really believe in customer service, and sometimes we're on point. Sometimes we fall back and slip a little bit, but for the most part, we want you to feel comfortable. Because it's already difficult for African Americans to do non-traditional activities. And back in the 90s, if I said to somebody, "Hey, let's go play kickball," they were looking like I'm crazy.
They were like, kickball? I'm like, no, I ain't doing that.
So I had to learn to nurture people to do stuff. And I think that's what a lot of folks, like about Goombay. So we do this, we have fun too. And you meet a lot of people. A lot of folks have come out, they've met their wives, they've had kids, and just long lifetime friendships. So all that stuff kind of mixes in together.
I love that. I just love seeing people, whether you're black or white, it don't matter. But I just love seeing people being active because again, I was raised to be active and sporty. So I'm like, this is great. There's this whole club, that has various sports, hiking, camping, etc., that I can be involved in to the level that I feel comfortable doing. Let's talk about something that we see behind us, your photos. So I know that those of y'all who are part of this whole Goombay family, see Butch out there with his camera. So then how does your love of photography start? And then how have you been able to just really use that still for your Goombay program?
I got my first camera when I was, I want to say 8 years old. It's actually a picture of me with my camera over there on that wall. My mother's best friend gave me a camera. I just started taking pictures. I still have those photos to this day. So, I got into it, became a hobby. Went to school for it at McKinley. And then by the time I got to college, I had my own darkroom in my dorm room. And I just that's all I did was just shoot pictures the whole time. Fast forward to the social media age. It has definitely benefited.
Yeah, because you have tons of photos from the 90s, 80s, and before that you can just see the growth in yourself, plus in the whole sports area in DC. Like y'all, he is a DC area treasure.
Oh,
And I'm not saying to be saying, I'm saying because I mean it. I mean, like, you are a treasure. Like, I mean, you have done so much to just help get sports back on the map, help get people active doing the hiking, camping, because tomorrow I know it's camping. We've talked about how this is a family. So then since y'all were focusing on adults being active, whether it's sports or nature or hiking, what led you to actually have a league for teenagers?
Okay, so well, originally Goombay started as a program for kids. Okay, so I'm gonna go down. So it started off in the 90s, a program for kids. I wanted to take kids. I used to work at a summer camp called Camp Moss Hollow.
Okay.
And I kind of wanted to kind of just bring what we did there to the, to the city, but just doing different things. So it was supposed to be for kids, but I realized real quick that I needed some Black mentors, counselors, and people who knew how to camp, kayak, hike, and nobody knew. So I said, oh man, I said, let me focus on the adults first, getting me a nice core group of people. They could come with these kids and camp and hike and do all that stuff. So then we did just for the adults. Now, as far as kids with the kickball, my mindset is, okay, these people playing kickball, eventually they're going to age out. So let's start them young and let's build and let's bring them from middle school on up to, to adulthood, and they'll be our next group of adult kickball players and good kickball players too.
Some of these teenagers, I'm like, shoot, y'all better than the adults because y'all been playing for like
that's right.
5, 6.
Yeah, that's true. And the other thing is that the kids, they don't play anymore. So we play kickball in the alleys, and so they really enjoy coming out. Number one, and just watching kids in the 2000s get hooked on video games, and living in the suburbs and not coming out, in the neighborhood. This helps them to get out, play, talk to kids.
And being outside is vital.
Yes, it is.
I mean, I'm a big advocate of just kids, whether you're a little kid, whether you're even a teen still, just getting outside, having fun with basketball, whether it's a volleyball in the park or kickball, what have you. So kickball is something that we've talked about in our conversation, but what is it that makes y'all stand out amongst other programs in the country? And can you also share about how you've expanded beyond just the whole DC, Maryland, Virginia area?
Okay, so we're in several cities right now, and the whole goal for this was we used to do a national kickball tournament. So in order to get teams from other areas to come to our tournaments, we said, okay, we need a Goombay Atlanta. So a friend of mine, she moved down. She said, Butch, I want to start Goombay Atlanta down here. So that's how that got started. And usually it gets started because someone from DC has moved to an area and will start it. So we have Charlotte. That's my man George started Charlotte. We have some areas that people see us and say, hey, we want to do this down here. Like Goombay Anderson or Goombay Raleigh.
Anderson, South Carolina.
Or Raleigh. He's doing very well down there. That's Cornell. So we kind of branch out and do these things to help support the tournaments. Now, unfortunately, those affiliates haven't gotten into the adventure.
Like with the hiking and the camping.
Because they don't feel comfortable. And I get it. I'm comfortable in the woods. They just haven't expanded on that part of it because they know kickball, they know sports, they just don't know camping and paintball and all that stuff. So we try to get them to push them to do that. But for right now, nationally, kickball is what we're known for. So, that's a good thing. I don't have a problem with that.
Well, do you and your team offer training to other clubs that are, say, maybe in California or maybe elsewhere who want to model what you all have, whether it's for hiking?
We don't, but it's not a bad idea. But yeah, you're right. But there are other groups across the country, especially at the start of COVID. There are a lot more Black hiking groups, camping groups, adventure groups, and bike groups. They sprung up all over the place. So for me, it's good to see these organizations because they're still doing the same thing that I started. You want to bring us out into the adventure world.
It just be in nature, be one with the trees and the sun and the sand and in the water for whitewater rafting.
Got to get you out there.
Well, I mean, I am literally traumatized
Really?
because my friend and I were both in fourth grade. And so we were there like with the whole summer camp, but our actual raft was only two of us. So there was no adult.
No guide in there?
The guide may have been somewhere else. Who knows? It was just two of us in fourth grade.
Right.
Hey, Emily, I'm telling our story. But it was two of us in fourth grade. And so even though we had chaperones there,
Right.
they were not with us at the time. So they were in their own rafts. And so
was this on calm water or rapids?
I remember us actually doing some of the like the open rapid part, but like we got stuck and there was nobody around us.
With your paddles?
No.
You didn't have no paddles? You had that.
I remember that part. But if I recall vividly just how terrified we were because we're in fourth grade. And so the adults who we were there with, they're already down and they're already probably done for now. And so like someone came and got us, but like we were terrified.
You all were left out there.
Yes. The adults and the chaperones, like there was nobody who was behind us to make sure that the kids all stayed kind of together. It was more like, okay, raft, life jacket, I guess paddles too, clearly because we're rafting, but there was no safety measure in terms of adults.
So it's interesting that you say that because a lot of we hear a lot of praise from people who hike with us, and they'll say, "Hey, but I like hiking with your group because you have a lot of hike admins, and you guys mix yourself throughout the line."
Okay.
There's some hike groups who say, "Hey guys, look, we're on this trail. Keep up. If you don't keep up, we'll see you at the end of the trail."
Yeah, if you get lost, too bad for you, I guess.
We have to believe we don't leave anybody behind. So if you're the slowest, you're right. So if you're the slowest hiker, we're gonna have somebody back there with you. If you're the next slowest, somebody's back there with you. We're all on radios, and there's hike admins throughout the whole line. So we'll never leave anybody back. I don't care. I was with this one lady to say this was one story. One lady, she was walking very slow. And I was back here. And I was back with her.
Okay.
So the front of the line had already got back to the parking lot. Took us 2 hours to catch up with them. So
with you in the biker?
Yeah,
wow,
this one lady took us, we were 2 hours behind.
Wow.
So I asked her, I said, wow, when you get back, you might want to get checked out. I just said you would take 10 steps and stop.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of slow.
Yeah, that's not
she got back, she went to the doctors, found out she had cancer.
Oh my God.
So she called me and said, "But I really appreciate it. Number one, you stuck with me.
Yeah.
Number two, if I didn't know this, I would have never found out I had cancer." So stories like that kind of make us feel like, okay, we've done our job.
Definitely. And it is so important that that people feel safe, whether they're rafting, camping, hiking. You have been around for over 30 years. So what would you say are your biggest two successes and your biggest two lessons learned in your whole program?
So the biggest two successes are one, kickball, definitely kickball. Okay. That has been one of the biggest successes that we've had with Goombay. I would say the second one are honestly the camping trips, because for years, we didn't do that.
Right.
So you always hear the hashtag Black folks camp too. Or
yes.
But some of us feel more comfortable in the woods in Virginia or other places when we're around each other. So I always tell people, you don't have to be afraid because there's 30 of us going camping. So you're surrounded by us,
safety in numbers.
Things that I've learned, man, I've learned a lot. Wow, that's kind of hard. I mean, I learn things every day. So I can't really pinpoint one particular thing right now.
Since you are celebrating 35 years of Goombay Adventurers with your...
Sounds old.
It doesn't sound old. It sounds well established. It sounds like y'all are solid. Where do you see your club in the next couple of years or in the future?
That's a very good question. I think it'll definitely grow. I want to see more folks decide to do this in other areas.
Okay.
Like, I mean, DC is DC, but we're primarily solid in PG County.
Yes.
So we want to do Montgomery County.
Okay.
Fairfax County. We did.
Okay.
We did a few things. Sometimes, it's a little hard to venture out because Montgomery County It's different than PG. We tried it in Baltimore County, Randallstown. We had a kickball league maybe 3 or 4 years, but the mindset is a little different in these certain places. So I would like to see it in all the different counties around DC, and also in other areas, all down the East Coast, even the West Coast,
Yeah, because so y'all are definitely present in DC, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. So then how do we even get Goombay Adventurers, whether it's the sports or the nature part, to somewhere, say like Ohio or Michigan? I'm just like saying states, that have big cities.
I think people have to see us do. The hardest thing is that you don't find folks who want to, take on that task of starting something like this and then have to convince us to go out and do these things. Because the quiet is kept. Black folks do hike, and they do bike, but it's still tough to get us out there. It really is. So you really have to have that patience, and you have to have the mindset that, okay, this is what I have a passion for. I love to hike and I love to bring people out. So if you do a hike and only 4 people show up, you can't be disappointed. You can't be disappointed.
You can't, you say?
You cannot. Because you got to say to yourself, it's just the beginning. You have to take those 4, and then they invite a friend. Now there's 8.
Pass the word.
So I remember we have a meetup group, and our first meetup group it was a movie meetup. We had 8 people. That was nothing. By the time the movie Red Tails came out, we had 120.
This is just one
movie meetup. Yes. So everyone after that was in the 50s, the hundreds. And now we kind of slowed down because it was just too many people. So you just have to be, find people who really want to do it and have a passion to do it, and that's tough.
I like to also bring up various things that I hear during our chats. So since you have so much going on with Goombay Adventurers, I'm going to give you 3 activities. And so I want you, for the moment, what is your best memory of these activities? So let's do camping.
Best memory for camping. Hey, they're all good. But I'll just say, let me just back up and just say, the beach camping trips are probably the best. Those are the best memories. Even this past weekend with the family beach camping, we had a lot of memorable moments this past weekend.
So that was the families out there.
Yeah, kids. And it's good to see the kids play. There's no cell phones. They play games. They ran around. They built sandcastles. The older teens, they talked. They had a little fire, and they had all kinds of teen conversations.
It's camping with the family next year. Come on, Kenny and Q. So y'all love camping. I'm going to invite y'all to join us in camping next year. Okay. So let's do volleyball.
Oh, volleyball. We have a big volleyball league, but probably our best would be our outdoor grass league. Unfortunately, we haven't done it in a couple of years. I'm trying to start it this year. Just trying to find a new place. But the grass volleyball league that's probably the best, because we're out there, we're cooking out, summertime, we chilling, having a great time, just playing. So that's volleyball.
And then we take it back. Flag football.
Oh, flag football. So Fab Sports used to be like our kickball. We had over 40 teams. We played down at Gravely Point.
One season?
Yeah, it's one season.
40 teams.
And we really built that league from the ground up, and we had a great time, and we met a lot of great people, some really good games, and we would have a fall, spring, summer, and a winter league, nonstop.
So y'all were playing in the snow?
In the cold.
Okay.
I won't say snow.
In the cold. Okay. So it's freezing. Y'all are playing flag football.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have really enjoyed also quizzing you on some of your flashback, because again, you have so many memories in your head, in your walls, in your various archives of photos. So thank you for playing along with my little impromptu game of memory.
That's okay.
Well, I have learned so much about your organization, the history, and so we have various photos that I may try to get a few zoomed in on here. Is there anything else that you want to share about Goombay?
Well, I will say this. People always ask me, how do I get people to come out? And in the 90s, I used to DJ. So we used to do party.
So you were multifaceted. So
Yeah,
you
so-
were DJing, you were doing photos, you had a whole dark
Yeah.
room in your
Yeah, all that
dorm, you were
Yeah.
doing hiking, and you were a
Yeah.
Boy Scout. So you were active.
Yeah. So back then, the only way I could get the word out is I DJ'd and I'm on the mic and I'm telling people in the party, hey, are we going so-and-so?
Mhm.
Come on, let's go out. So some of these events, especially some of the first camp
Mhm.
events, it was almost like a party in the woods, you know? And people were like, okay, I don't mind going out, we're still good parties, so we're gonna do this. So anyway, one hand washed the other and it got folks to come out.
Right.
That was a good way of bringing people together and getting them people out there. I'm telling you, it was tough, you know?
Yeah, I mean, y'all have laid a strong foundation. So do you have plans of yourself slowing down? You have a team, I know, it helps you with your
Right.
behind the scenes and day up. So even though you are the face of Goombay, like you do have support. So
Yeah.
would you be doing this until you
Yeah.
can't do it anymore?
Yep, that's right.
And
I get,
no,
I get bored real quick. So
Okay.
I'm constantly trying to figure out new things to do. Like, for example, this is our 9th year doing beach camping.
okay,
Two of my admins, D and Tanda said, hey, Butch, let's go. This is 9 years ago.
okay.
And it was March, so it was cold.
So
And I
y'all went
said,
camping in March?
we're camping in March. The first
Okay.
trip
Interesting.
was nice. It was like 70 degrees. It was an Indian summer. The next 3 trips, the second trip, we had a snow blizzard. We were still out there camping. The next one was cold. It was 20 degrees. And I said, okay, we need to move this beach trip to summer months.
Because March is still technically winter pretty much. and y'all
March,
are
and
camping in
April,
the
and
snow.
May, and June, July. Now we're in August.
Okay.
So it's a lot better now, but it's one of those things where, you know, it has to grow.
Mhm.
You know, our first trip was maybe 25 people.
Okay.
Now this weekend coming up is gonna be 120 people.
Okay.
You know, so it just kind of builds up. I always like to tell people that you got to get out of your comfort zone and you just got to just do it. That's the biggest thing you just do. So if someone says, hey, let's go hike Great Falls,
Give it a try.
just go. You
Okay.
know, if you can't, if you don't want to do it by yourself, there's tons of hiking groups in the DMV. Just look on Instagram or Facebook and just go out with a group and just do it. You know, that's it.
Just do it, y'all.
Yeah.
So how can people find out more about Goombay Adventurers?
Oh, you can find us on Instagram at Goombay Inc. We're on Facebook at We Love Goombay. We have meetup groups, about like 8 meetup groups. Or just go on the website, www.goombay.net. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Butch, for joining. I'm
Okay.
really happy, that I got to learn more about Goombay Adventurers because, again, I was just so amazed that I learned last year that this is more than just kickball, that
Okay.
it's outdoorsy things, it's family hiking, it's all kinds of good
It is.
stuff. If y'all like to do outdoorsy things, check out goombay.net. And so thank you all for joining us for 1st and 15th. And if you've enjoyed this episode, feel free to give us a little thumbs up, a like, a comment, or subscribe to the channel. Check out past episodes of our various guests, and we will see y'all next time, everybody.
Okay, thank you.